So, a lot of people in life have stories and they tell you these things and they want you to believe them, but I really have a story here. I did time in prison in Nevada. I did a lot of time. And my back number was 51845 before they went to A numbers. So, 51845. So, if you have to look me up or you have to, who is this guy? I need to validate him. All right, I went to NNCC. I got arrested right when my son was being born in Alaska, but nobody told me. And I was in the prison when my son was born. And I got out, he was probably 3, I think, in 99. But nobody bothered to tell me. They charged me child support and stuff. I would have wrote to him and stuff. I would have contacted my son. I had nothing better to do in prison. I was indigent. I got free stamps. I traded them for tobacco. I mean, why can't you tell me about my kid while I'm in prison? And then 10 years later, when I'm married, you ambush me and say I owe 10 years of child support. Oh, yeah, and TANF. It's just not fair. I had a back number, I had a social security number, everything. It's not like you couldn't find me. The Federal Department of Prisons had me registered in the Northern Nevada Correctional Center. They put me all over the place. Man, I mean, you can't tell me I got a kid in Alaska. He hates me. I don't want to talk to him either. That's good riddance. Good riddance to bad rubbish, I think. When your son doesn't love you because you never got to meet him and he thinks that you owe him money, but the state's been taking it all because of his drunk dad who was out seal clumming in Haida territory because it's a Tlingit. See, I'm like 1/4 Indian, Native American, northern Wisconsin, though my dad left early when I was young. But my son on the other half, he's a full half-blood Tlingit. He's a full half-blood Tlingit. I think his mother's Raven Clan, and I think his grandfather, they're raised by them, was Eagle Clan. I don't remember a lot. I drank a lot of that, that stuff, that Devil's Thumb juice in Petersburg, and man, I must have blacked out for a couple months because I don't remember a lot of anything. I think I drank almost a half a gallon of Devil's Thumb juice. If anybody knows what that is, you stay away from Devil's Thumb juice. It's crazy stuff. You think people coming down from space to talk to you and stuff. And the road's lit up and you're running and there's a mattress following you or some shit. It's wild. I ran with a pack of wolves on it. I met a guy in Petersburg, right? All right, so I'm on the island of Petersburg, right? And wandering through the muskeg at night because I think I might have ate a bad clam or something. I don't know why I'm doing this. I mean, I'm like 17 going on 18. I'm climbing through the muskeg and up in the hillside I hear wolves. And so I'm calling wolves. And now they're coming at me. I'm like, okay. So I see this cabin ahead of me. I go up to the cabin. The guy invites me in. What are you doing out here? I'm like, I'm following the wolves. He's like, that's not a good idea. I'm like, why not? He's like, sit down with me. Let's talk. And so we start talking now. I don't remember what we talked about at all, but he had this big jug. This is made of Devil's Thumb juice. I said, that pokey shit that's out there? Because it's really bad pokey. I mean, I was fucked up already. So he said I could drink as much as I wanted. So he had a big apple cider jar, and I drank half. And he told me not to go anywhere, and I didn't want to believe him, so I just took off because the wolves were coming. And so I was heading down the road, and I was talking to God about breaking the seals, and I was talking about the covenant of God, and he said, if you choose to break the seals, it's up to you. And I said, I would choose to break the seals because there's no covenant left of God that covets God in the way God should be coveted. And then all of a sudden the wind came out of the north, and it pushed me to the ground, and I couldn't get up. And then the wind came straight down from above me and pushed me to the ground flat, and I couldn't move, and it was dark. It was darker than dark. I couldn't see my hand in front of my face. And something came up, and it was like a mattress or something. Like a mattress came up to me, and I remember nothing. And I told him that I didn't like any of you. and I didn't like your world, and I didn't like what you did to each other. And I said that if I was the bearer of all seals, and I was the person to carry for them, and I was the mandarag, I most certainly would break them. And they said, if you wanted to break them, and I said, I do. And somehow I made it back to my campground that night. I don't know how. And I fell asleep in a deep sleep, and everyone said I carried back a mattress that I found on the side of the road. And I didn't remember that either. And like for brief periods, for about 5 months after that, I just have like big fucking Swiss cheese holes in my... And I think it's the devil's thumb juice, man. Stay away from that shit. You'll have dreams of like crazy stuff, man. Stay away from it. And that's some type of warning. So be careful who you follow. Some people are volatile, and some people really don't like you. I'm only here to help you. You really don't like me.